I'm Trinidadian. Let's queer up South Florida and Florida. Florida Representative Fabian Basabe found liable for sexual harassment, battery, and defamation. A Florida jury found Republican State Representative Fabian Basabe civilly liable for sexually harassing two former male staffers, committing battery against both men, and defaming one staffer and his mother on social media. The Tallahassee jury awarded former legislative aide Nicholas Frivola and former intern Jacob Cutbirth a combined $450,000 in damages for pain and suffering. During the trial, Frivola testified that Basabe made repeated sexual comments and touched him without consent. He told the court Basabe whispered, quote, "I want all of that butt," before slapping his buttocks. Frivola also testified that Basabe once slapped him across the face during a legislative reception. Cutbirth shared that after driving Basabe home one evening, he placed a hand on Cutbirth's thigh and made comments on sex with men while attempting to kiss him. He also claimed that Basabe encouraged him to end his engagement to a woman and pursue relationships with men. Basabe represented himself during the trial and was repeatedly reprimanded by the judge for violating courtroom rules. The jury reached its verdict in less than 2 hours. Although Basabe previously pledged to resign if the allegations were proven true, he has not stepped down yet. Okay, so I needed to dig deeper into this story because I know that gay men can have a target on their backs, right? And maybe I could see some of these allegations potentially if they happen to be friends and, a friend ends up being felt like they didn't get paid or something, and then they decide to go to reporters and, kind of tell little portions of stories and all that stuff. So upon reading more and who these victims were, that's not the case. At least that's not what it seems like to me. I read more of the court transcripts to see what they were saying to each other and what his defense might be of these things. And I did a little bit more digging into his past and some previous allegations spanning from 20 years ago. And it seems like what these victims got awarded for, it seems correct. And it seems like there's been a history of this kind of behavior. And it always makes me think, what is wrong with our system that the people who are always rising to power have these issues? Or is it potentially that these issues are so prevalent and these people have microscopes on them, and so we just see it more? But why is the caliber of the people we have representing us and who our political parties are propping up to be the candidates that we have to choose from, why are they so bad?
Well, Republican fascists love sex offenders, or at least they don't hate them. We've seen, what do Democrats do when we find out someone's a sex offender? The guy in Maine, Governor Cuomo in New York, Al Franken, they're gone. Like before the next news cycle can start up the next week. Yeah. Republicans coddle them, hug them, protect them.
Yeah.
So they don't care, and Basabe is, I don't know if he's still a member, but he was a member of, the log cabin faggots that vote against our own interests at every turn. So, he said he would resign. Essentially, if he resigned now, who would really care? He's up for re-election in November. So the voters of Miami Beach can resign him for him. And I really hope they do.
Yeah, as I hear the story, one of the immediate question I have is also just the logic or not logic. I wonder what the thinking was behind it, of representing himself. Like, I actually think that's.
There's that proverb: a man who is his own lawyer has a fool for a client, and there we have it. He just proved it.
Well, the judge said, you know what? Your ignorance of the law is not going to make me give you a pass. Right. Yeah. And at one point he was like, I need to go collect myself in the bathroom and wash my face or something. And the judge granted him the recess, but he warned him. He said, the fact that you basically did something so stupid doesn't mean that I'm going to help you at all.
Right.
So you will face the consequences.
Is this privilege? Is this what it is?
I don't know what it is.
Is because he's rich that he gets to get away with this, or for how long?
Well, and he didn't get away with it.
But there were previous allegations.
Well, there's right, and when allegations happen, there has to be a whole process in which the aggrieved party comes forward and goes
Right,
through the
but
right
my
channels,
question
all
about
of that.
privilege is that he still got elected.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
And, you know,
Yeah.
and representing
They knew,
Miami
yeah.
Beach of
Yeah.
all
I mean, look at
places.
Donald Trump.
Right.
Well, that's what I mean.
like it's so many
another
people.
another reality show guy, sex offender. There's like a pattern here. Here he is. And privilege. There he is. Basabe and Trump.
How do they
sex
get away
offenders?
with it? Is my question.
Yeah.
How do they keep getting? I guess it's because they're Republican. I suppose.
I think there's
There's
also
a whole socioeconomic argument and power balances that we could take up the entire hour
Yeah.
discussing that. But yeah, but you're right though.
It's a lot of, this is layer after layer, and like also the trauma of all this for those, and to think about the kind of effort it took also to document all those things so carefully, and to be able to then present it.
And when you think about all of these people who are getting prosecuted and have their day in court, imagine how many don't, and they're still sitting there that
But like
we
I
just
said,
don't know
keeping
about.
track. Imagine the extra work of having to keep track of how many times this person is
And then relive it.
slapped
Kind of
you
like
on.
have to
And
think about
hopefully they will not pay the consequences, and they'll be able to, lead healthy lives and then move on
Right.
and get jobs. Because with this MAGA culture right now, the cult going after these people, who knows?
Right.
Look at women that have been accused of, that have accused Donald Trump, like E.G. and Carroll, and people that are in the news, how they've been chased by the MAGA cult. So who knows? I mean, you think that they should be able to move on, but we don't know. In the current environment, we don't know.
No.
There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by sharing them and subscribing to Queer News Tonight.